Well, hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. I'm Jen Duplessis. I'm known as the Impact Mentor. And my mentor, I'm going to pretend like everybody's over here too. My mentor, Les Brown, said to me, you know, Jen, if you do what's easy, your life is going to be hard. But when you start doing what's hard, just for a little while, your life will become much, much easier. And boy, did I learn that lesson one night when I went to dinner with my family. And I'll say that in quotes. Has anybody been to dinner with their family in quotes and you really weren't at dinner, right? And I got that phone call from my client, and I went outside, and I started talking to my client, and I started walking what I call the concrete balance beam, right? When you're on the phone and you're kind of going back and forth you're talking to people, you're waving to people. Hi, yeah, I'm on the phone with my client, right? But I happened to look over into the window of the restaurant, and there my family was, enjoying themselves, having a wonderful time, creating all these beautiful memories, but I was not in them. And that's when I decided that things had to change. I was going to stop proving in my life, and I was going to start living in my life. And I set out on a mission to say, how can I do what's hard right now so that I could have an easier life going forward? Because at that time, I was doing everything really hard, thinking it would be everything really easy, but finding out that it was very hard to do. And I was working a lot of hours per month and per week, and my family just didn't see me at all. And what ended up happening at the time, I was in the mortgage business, and I was closing $50 million a year. And over the next 2 or 3 years, I had figured it out. I had figured out the code and ended up closing $102 million a year, but I was only working 4 hours a week, or 4 days a week. So what I learned was there's a better way to scale than everything that I had learned. And I had asked tons of people, tell me how you scale, and no one could figure it out. So I had to figure it out for myself. And what I realized is exactly what we're going to be talking about today, which is building these better relationships and 5 strategies to build better relationships. Because we can't do it alone. We have to have people helping us. And that was the key for me is, are these relationships superficial, or are these relationships really deep? And I always consider it to be this. So we talk about relationships a lot, is that I need the next person. I need to find more people to know so I can have more people in my database so that I can have more, rather than going deeper and having these beautiful, deep, rich relationships that happen to make us rich in the process. So are we good with that? Can we get started with that? All right. So, this thought that I was saying before about me chasing them, spending all these hours, I wanted to change this and say, okay, I want them to chase me. And one of the things that we deal with a lot is shiny object syndrome, right? The acronym for shiny object syndrome is SOS. Help! I know, that's it. That'll be the magic bullet. I'll get that shiny object, and that will be the resolution for it, rather than focusing on those deeper relationships, which is the difference between you chasing them and people chasing you. And I also call this being the difference between being in demand versus on demand. There's more money on demand than there is in demand. It's the difference between going to the ER, that's in demand, or waiting 6 months to meet a doctor who's, on demand, or waiting 6 months for a doctor that's in demand, and they make more money. And so we want to make more money as well. So what we're going to talk about today is how to walk into any meeting at all, and discover endless opportunities, how to properly interview potential partners, and how to accelerate your results with a strong community. A community of referral partners rather than you doing it alone. So, these are some of the challenges I feel like we have. We're working for our money all the time. We're trading time for money. We're chasing short-term gains and then feeling the long-term pain. We struggle to find time in our day to get everything done. It's one of the things that my coaching clients I hear all the time is I don't have enough time. What I've realized is that we don't have infinite time, because we're only human. We can only do 80 hours a week, 120 hours a week for a very short period of time. But when we hire people on our team, and you hire someone who's working 20 hours a week, you just receive 20 hours of productivity, and then time becomes infinite. Is that making sense? So that's a struggle that we have. We feel we have no life because we're always on the phone. We're always taking care of people, like my concrete balance beam. We feel we're working on demand and not in demand, and I know we are leaving tons of money on the table all the time. Even in this event, if you're meeting someone and you don't follow up, you just left money on the table. And it happens endlessly with people. So I think, let me give you a little bit about me, right? I'm an international speaker. I have 17 number one best-selling books, 3 of which are international. I am a real estate investor. I was in the mortgage space for 40 years. I just celebrated that 2 years ago, or 2 days ago. It celebrated 40 years in financial services. What else am I? There's a lot of stuff up here. I'm a TV show producer. I have a TV show called Tell Me I Can't. I have 2 podcasts that I also run. I've been running for a really long time. So quite a few things that I've been doing in those years. And I like sharing a little bit about me when we don't have the opportunity to be introduced in a situation like this. So the reason why I tell you all that is because I was spending my life eating soup with a fork. Busy, 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 busy. Exhausted, exhausted, exhausted. And then when I got home, I was not fulfilled at all. And I see so many people doing this all the time. So what if we could change that? And I can introduce you to these 5 strategies. So you want to write this down. So these 5 strategies, and this is really about having a meeting, a quality meeting with a great referral partner. Hi, a great referral partner. You know what I usually do when someone walks in? This is funny. I haven't done this a long time, but usually when someone walks in, and this is only when I'm holding my own event, but I go, if someone's late, and you aren't, it's okay. But when someone's late to come in, I tell everybody, hey, listen, when they come in, I'm going to say these words, and then you guys here have to say ooh and ah really loud, okay? So pretend like you just walked back in. And I go, and that's how you make $1 million. Ooh, ah. So that when you come in, you're like, oh, I missed it. I missed it. Hi, Gwen. But I missed it. Ooh, oh, and that's how you make $1 million. There you go. Okay, so I want you to write these down. So building these richer relationships, this is going to come in handy for all of you because, again, we have a tendency to show up to, if we even show up to one-to-ones, right? You're meeting people, and then hopefully you schedule a one-to-one. But if you even do that. But when we show up, we have a tendency to show up and throw up, right? We talk all about ourselves and nothing about everybody else. We don't really create a strong bond with them. We just have all kinds of things to talk about, what we're pitching to people. So I would say number 1 is stop pitching to people and see how you can serve them. So the first step is to build rapport. Does anybody know FROG? FROG system. It's also the Ford system. So FROG is an acronym, another acronym for, are you ready for this? Family, recreation, occupation, and goals. And under Ford, it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And so you don't go in and say, okay, F is for family, so let me ask you about your family. And then okay, so now I need to ask you about recreation. It's a very light conversation, but you're building rapport with those people. And taking the time to do that, push everything aside, all the paperwork, all the pitching you want to do, push all of that aside and talk about building rapport. And then I have some really in-depth things that we go through with my coaching students on this as well. But number 2, quality questioning. Quality questions, open-ended questions that get them to talk about themselves because that's what they want to do. They want to talk about themselves, and we can talk about those here in a few minutes if I have time. And developing curiosity about them. And the reason why we do the developing curiosity, so we have a series of questions that we ask everybody, and again, if we can get to it, we will. Series of questions, but the developing curiosity is, I call it, a lot of times, even this is event. I went to the event period. I think of it as a dot, dot, dot. I went to the event. Now what can I do? And then what can I do? And so when you're asking questions, it's not just saying, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, that's good. It's why are you doing that? What got you into it? What do you love about it? Where are you heading with it, right? Developing that curiosity in the relationship. Next, partner category. I hear this all the time. I do a lot of, I'm very big on systems because I'm an engineer. I'm very big on systems. I'm very big on relationships, and obviously on scaling businesses. But I have a lot of experience in management / leadership. We'll call it leadership nowadays because I don't like that word. Nobody wants to be managed, right? A lot of skills in leadership. I hear business owners saying, I treat everybody the same, and I just want to throw up because you can't. There are different competency levels, there are different commitment levels. And the same thing holds true with your partners. You cannot treat all of the people, all of your connections exactly the same. They have different levels of commitment to you, engagement with you, different value levels, right? Some are connectors, some are people that will give you actual referrals. So they all have different levels. And again, because in the interest of time, because we don't have infinite time, we have to categorize them and say, this is who I'm going to spend more time with because there's a bigger ROI for this. And it's akin to when you get, for example, a Verizon, right? You go to Verizon, you get the basic plan, you get 1, 2, 3. And then you get the premium plan, you get extras. And then you get the top end plan, and you get all these things. We have to categorize our partners in that same way because we don't have infinite time. So I love categorizing the partners. And then last is consistent engagement. We met, I did frog, I was curious about them and asked a lot of things. I've categorized them, and then period. We have to have consistent communication with them on a regular basis. Is that making sense with everybody? So, and there's lots and lots of depth to this that I don't have time to go over today. So, the bottom line is, would you rather work with 100 pennies or would you rather work with 4 quarters? So everyone you're meeting, you're figuring out, is this somebody I want 100 of these types, which is fine if you want 100 of $1 bills, right, or pennies, or if you want to work with 4 quarters that can give you a better result in a faster period of time. And I'm all about multiplying your results in record time, not sort of getting some results over many, many years, but what can you do in record time? So imagine having great meetings every single time instead of walking away from meetings and saying, well, that was a waste of time, right? A faster pace of growth versus a slower pace of growth. Onesie, twosieing, right? I'm a big one-to-many person. I don't have time to have a lot of one-to-ones, so I do a lot of one-to-many. And I watch the crowd. I have a lot of NLP, right? So I'm looking and I'm watching the crowd and it's saying, oh, I got to work with you. Or no way, I'm not going to work with somebody else. I'll know exactly who I want to work with. Growing your business every year. There are so many in the mortgage industry. Has anybody heard of a 10-1 ARM? Have you heard of an adjustable mortgage, right? So in the mortgage industry, I would always say, are you a 10-1 loan officer? You've been in the business for 10 years, 1 year at a time. And every year you hit the button, the reset button, instead of growing your business over that 10-year period. And that's what is most important about growing your business every year. Not being disappointed in your own results and saying, you know what, again, I went there and I just talked their ear off about me. And being disappointed that I went there and I then went to a meeting, a networking event, and I didn't get the results that I wanted to have. And I knew that I was tired of those disappointing results and saying, I just feel like, again, eating soup with a fork, right? That's all I was doing. All the activities because someone said to do the activities. Knowing exactly what to do to grow, right? We just talked about that. Working with complementary people. So I have a mantra. I have many. This versus that's in demand, on demand, right? Those. But working with people that complement instead of complicate. And I'm now at the point in my life, I'm 59, and thanks. And I'm at the point in my life where if you're going to complicate me, I'm not going to be working with you. I don't have time for that at all. Not interested. So you want to get to the point in your practice that you can do the same thing. Imagine making more money faster, sooner, tomorrow, today, and strategic partnerships that are absolutely loyal to you. It's important to reduce the gaps in your business. I know you talk about this in your business, right? In your marketing business that you had. It's just reducing those gaps. Is finding the people that can fill the gaps for you. So, in the interest of time, I just want to tell you about intro to income, and then I'm happy to. I'm going to give you guys 5 questions. You're going to tell me how much time I have, right? Yes. What? I can't hear you. 5? Okay. So, intro to income. I'm just going to go through this very quickly. Is this you will gain market authority. We have systems for endless referrals, and the reason why you'll gain market authority is that we do a system called Fascination. And it's how the world sees you. And so instead of going out and talking about yourself in a manner, this is one thing you won't hear me do. That people say, well, what do you do? And I will never say, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a podcaster. Because to me, that's a destination. I'm the impact mentor. Right? And I want people to, like a puppy dog, when you say, let's go for a walk, and it goes, what? You want people to say something like that because it creates curiosity. So it's not your destination. So we work really hard on that to make sure that if you're going to go to a meeting, you're going to really impact them. Systems for endless referrals, a sales process that helps create revolving door of opportunities with your referral partners. Community that supports you. Building your dream team, starting to build that dream team, building your board of advisors, and a system for follow-up. And that's what we do with that. But without those tools, you could lose opportunities left, right, and sideways. One of the things that I'm hot on right now is we have a tendency to shine a flashlight on exactly what we want and beat our heads against the wall if we're not getting it. And we just go, okay, well, I'll just keep going. I'll keep going. We're leaving all kinds of opportunities on the table when we don't share other types of clients that we want and that I can pre-qualify and bring them up through the ranks and have them be a perfect client for me. So we're missing tons of opportunities there. Your competition will get your business without the right tools and the support, whether you work alone or you want to work with me. Your competition will get your business while you're still trying to figure it out. You'll be wasting marketing money, no doubt. You won't have a way to get your questions answered, but working with us, I can help you with that, with scripting, with ideas on how to follow up, and really changing your business. Your growth will be slower. You'll gain authority. Your gaining authority will be much different. So will you be our next success? And one of the things that I'm not sharing today, but I have a lot of clients that have had so much success. I guarantee you when you learn how to do this, you will walk away from every single meeting with a referral and or connection. Every single one of them. And that may not be happening now. So this is an unconventional way of me doing this because I normally go through a little bit better process. I just want to share with you all the things that we have in it. We have the Intro to Income online videos. We do Q&A as well, the group Q&A. I also throw in Business Booster program, which is my flagship of how I cracked the top producer code. Unlimited support for a whole year, even though this is an 8-week class. All kinds of implementation resources, checklists, etc. Tickets to my 3-day event, and you can bring 4 of your friends with you if you want. And you get a course partner. So if you like this and you say, hey, I want to work with Jen, bring a business partner in, complimentary. Learn together. Feed off of each other. And then digital networking list, a business promotion one sheet so you're not handing out business cards anymore. I'm going to encourage people to throw them away completely. It's an $18,000 value. We normally retail it for $62.97, and we usually at conferences like this we offer $9.97. But I want to do something special for Bernardo because he's worked so hard, for 3 years, and trying to get this thing put together with COVID. So we're going to offer this for a much bigger or lesser opportunity for you. So if all this did was to help you close more sales, would it be worth it? Say yes. It would, because you'd close more sales. If all this did was to provide you with a roadmap, oh gosh, roadmaps are great for personalities who like roadmaps. C's, right? You'd love it, wouldn't you? Yeah. And if all this did for you was to allow you to attract even more referral partners, would it be worth it? Absolutely. Because we do not want to be out there working. We want to be chasing. I mean, we don't want to be chasing. We want to be attracting. Oh God. I do. Now my reverses are backwards. No, we want to be we want to be the one who's in demand, not on demand. So so today we're offering this for just $4.97. Okay. Unbelievable. I'll probably never, ever, 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 ever will I ever offer this again at this price because I'm still freaking out about it. So it's just one easy payment of $4.97. So you can take a picture of the QR code if you think this is something that would be good for you. And I know I didn't give you all the details that I normally do. I have a booth out here, so if you want to chit chat about this, let's chit chat about it. But we could change your life in the next 8 weeks or so. Am I okay on time, or I have 1 minute? I have 5 minutes left. Okay, I do. Okay, so here we go. I have 5? Oh, okay, good. So, if I'd known that, I would have just gone further into detail. Yeah. So I want to give you, remember when I said quality questioning? I want to give you the five, 6 questions. Are you ready for them, or you want to write these down? So everybody you meet, when you meet a one-to-one, these are the questions you're going to ask. And it doesn't have to be in this order, but I prefer that it's in this order, and I still do this today. And by the way, whether you're meeting them the first time or the 100th time or the 500th time, okay, you want to ask these questions. So the first one is, tell me about your business. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your business. This incorporates the frog, okay? So tell me a little bit about yourself. Let them go in whatever direction they want, and then re-guide them. So if they talk about family, then start talking about recreation, occupation, goals, those things. Tell me a little bit about your business. And remember, it's not the period method, it's the ... method. And why? And be curious. Continue to be curious. That's number 1. Number 2, tell me a little bit about something that you're struggling with or you're stuck with right now, or a goal you're trying to achieve. That's question 2. Tell me a little bit about, or share with me, if you don't mind, a little bit about what you're trying to achieve, what your goals are and what your stuck are. Now, here's the kicker. In order to have subsequent meetings with them, you do not want to give it up at that meeting. Okay, it's like dating. Don't give it. Don't give it the first night. Wait, hold. Because our tendency in helping people, if a struggle is, that we think we can solve it, we want to solve it right there. But it doesn't give us an opportunity for a piggyback. Is that making sense? And you want to ask this follow-up question. So this is question 2A. What have you tried so far? And maybe some additional ... questions. And the reason why you'd want to do this is if my answer to solving their solution was I know the answer to this. I'm just going to give them this answer. And they've tried it. They will shut me down and think that I can't provide them with any value. So don't give them the answer, even if you think you know it. Ask them, what have you tried? How did that work? What's another way you could do it? So you could come back with the same resolution in a different manner. Does that make sense? Okay, next question. Who would you like to be connected with to help your business grow? Who would you like to be connected with to help your business grow? And this gets back to the old, everything about relationships and referrals is that the answer, okay, so whatever the answer is, and I'll tell you, you guys will laugh about it in a minute. The answer is, but it's that you can solve the problem or make the connection. You are the connection, or that you know someone who's the connection, or you can do some research to find the connection. So you with me on that? So if they said, I'm looking for people, the people that could help my business grow is I'm looking for people who like underwater basket weaving with puppy dogs. And you go, I don't know anybody who does that. So you're thinking, well, that's not me. I don't know anybody, but I sure could do some research. Follow? So connections, this is great for you. And I'm a power, super duper power connector. I can't get past it. It's all I want to do. You sat with me today, and I sat there and said, I need to write some stuff down because I probably have 17 different people that I could connect you with right now, Johnny, on the spot. I'm a power connector. So, but it's either me, I know someone, or I can do some research. Now, how do you do research? The next meeting you have, because you're going to reciprocate these questions. So you're going to ask these questions, and then you're going to ask them to ask you the questions. So the next meeting you have, you're going to say, oh, the connection I'm looking for is people who like underwater basket weaving with puppy dogs, because that person might be able to solve this. Follow? Say yes? Okay, good. So, all right, so we have, what are your goals, or what's your, tell me about your business, right? What's your struggle or goal, or something's keeping you stuck? And then the follow-up question to that is, there you go. What have you tried so far? Third question is, who do you want to be connected with to expand your business? It could be expand your exposure. Okay. Fourth question is, how would I know when I'm talking to someone if they're a perfect client for you? How would I know when I'm talking to someone if they're a perfect client for you? What's great about that is that it implies that you're looking out for them and you're thinking about what you can do for referrals. How would I know when I'm talking to someone if they're a perfect client for you? But you better be prepared to answer this yourself. Don't say, this is so bad in sales, right, in entrepreneurship. No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need anything. I'm good. Okay? Ready for the last question? Last question. Oh, and by the way, you want to have some context behind that too. So why do you want to meet this person, right? All right, so the last question is, what are you working on right now in your business, and how can I help you? What are you working on right now in your business, and how can I help you? So because we're a small group, Jennifer, Jen, Jenny, all of them. I know. What are you working on right now in your business, and how can we help you? Just real quick, what are you working on? What? Designing a program. So how can we help you? Okay, perfect, right? So then we say, everybody should be running up to Jennifer and saying, let's do a one-to-one. Let me give you some insight, right? Yeah. What are you working on right now in your business? Attracting clients. How can we help you? By signing up for one of your programs. And how does that help you attract clients? Oh, just to be a client. But you want to attract them. Yeah, you want more sales opportunities, is what you're saying. Yeah, so how can we help you get more sales opportunities? Yeah. So right. So you might say, I'd like to be on a podcast. I'd like to speak on your stage. Do you know anybody who's having an event that maybe I could speak at? Because you need to get to one-to-many. You don't want many. Sign up for my program because that's one. You want one-to-many. If you need to attract clients, you need to have one-to-many. Is that making sense? Okay. Hopefully that solved your problem right there. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So, so the last question is a really weird question. It is, thank you. The last question is a really weird question because it's, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? And the reason that we do this, what are your thoughts, is because we come into these meetings kind of white-knuckled in our car or whatever, saying, I hope they like me. I hope they really like me, right? And we're all worried about it. And this is why when we show up, we throw up. Because we just want to get everything out. But we're going to change that dynamic, and we do this in our course where we set expectations at the beginning. And that is that you might say no, and I'm okay with that. You might say yes, and I might be delighted I'd be delighted. But I have the choice too. I might say no to working with you. Is that fair? Does that sound good? Sure, sounds great. So when you get to the end and you say, what are your thoughts? You're getting that feedback. Oh, I love you, I want to work with you. That's great. I don't like you. No, I'm teasing. We don't say it that way. We have a very specific way we do it. But that's why you're asking what are your thoughts, because we walk away. It's better to know. It's better to know than wonder. We walk away and then we pray and hope, and then we're wondering why it didn't work. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to leave you with this. My mom had a quote, and goes like this. We flatter those we scarcely know. We please the fleeting guests. But we deal many a thoughtless blow to those we love the best, including ourselves. Stop giving those thoughtless blows to yourself. Come up with a strategy. Join us if this sounds like something that would be helpful to you over the next 8 weeks or so. And let us help you be good, just as good to yourself as you are to your clients. It's in the having the courage to say no to your clients and yes to you is going to change your life. So with that, I say thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that was helpful.